Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Techni-Ice. Now, if you've never heard of Techni-Ice, that's okay. This is originally a product of Australia, but can now be found all across the world, and this stuff is really cool. It's got a number of different applications, but what I use it for mostly is when I have to ship a live animal through the postal service. Now, during the hot season, it's very easy for just about any animal, like a fish, a shrimp, or a snail, to die in transit due to excessive heat. So, what do we do to combat that heat? Well, you get your box, you insulate it with foam insulation. That's the first step, but that's really not good enough during the hot season when temperatures routinely hit 90 to 100 degrees. That kind of temperature, even with insulation, will end up having your little buddies killed. So, there are options out there, like if you want to go to your local pet store on the day they receive shipments during the hot season, they too have a very similar method where they have these special gel packs. They're not ice packs, they're gel packs. And what they do is it stays colder longer than ice would, and it won't leak, and it's not a liquid, it's a gel. So when it does thaw out, it doesn't make a mess. And these are totally reusable. So if you need a free solution, ask your local pet store if you can just keep the gel packs, and my pet store holds them for me and lets me take them. So I can have gel packs that work just as well. But when your little buddies are in transit for 48 to 72 hours, depending on how long it may take, going through the priority mail, if you're not doing express shipping, it's very important to make sure they don't die from the heat. And if you don't have access to things like the gel packs that you can get for free from your local pet stores, because let's face it, they just throw those things out anyway, they're more than happy to give it to you, Techni-Ice is a really awesome solution. So Techni-Ice is, well, it's not just water. When you first get Techni-Ice, it comes in, let me get a full sheet here. Comes in a sheet, and the cells are 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a 4 by 6 sheet of cells, and it will be completely flat like a piece of paper. You massage it inside of some warm water for the Techni-Ice to absorb the water, and it mixes with other sorts of polymer and plastics and other materials inside of here, and it too will become somewhat of a gel. But the nice thing about Techni-Ice is it can get a lot colder and stay colder than regular ice. This stuff will get pretty much just as cold as the environment is in, whereas ice doesn't seem to really do that. So if you have a deep freezer, this stuff can get extremely cold, and it holds its coldness better. You will need to have an insulated container for it to retain its ability to stay cold, but nevertheless, it does an incredible job. I've had a lot of experience using Techni-Ice as a solution for shipping my fish and shrimps and snails, and they've gone through 48-hour transits to their destination and still remained somewhat cool to the touch. Now, the boxes I use aren't so big. I can cut them into little 2x2 cell packs, and this goes on top, and this is actually enough to keep it cold. And my fingers are starting to get really, I need blood circulation coming back. But I keep these in the bottom of the freezer because, you know, cold air resides lower in the system. So you would put this on top because it cools from top to bottom. That's just how hot and cold work. But speaking of hot and cold, if you're not using this for transporting fish, you can do the exact opposite of cooling, which is heating. Yep, you can use this as a heat compress of some sort. If you want to put this in the microwave for a certain amount of time, yes, you can heat up these cells and use it for medical purposes or whatever other reason you might need some heated cells for. And these are completely reusable. So you can use them over and over and over again, hundreds of times. And they work really well. I've also used these in the case of keeping perishable foods completely edible on camping trips. So when I have a big insulated box, I have a number of these sheets lining all the sides, and I have perishable lunches and drinks that I want to keep cold. And I was able to keep them cold for a few days, and that's a lot better than normal ice will do. So in instances where you're using this to ship stuff with, it's a much better solution because the post office doesn't always allow things like dry ice for safety reasons. So it's a good compromise between everything, and it's really not all that expensive for all this Techni-Ice. Plus, I've already used a few sheets for when I'm shipping. It wasn't all that expensive. You can get them pretty much anywhere, Amazon, eBay, etc. And I have the HDR4 polymer version. This is the most, I guess, high-end version of Techni-Ice you're going to get. So Techni-Ice has just been an incredible solution to a problem that I've been looking for a solution for a while now, because the hot season and the cold season are the two most expensive times to ship fish and other aquatic buddies because, well, either you need to keep them from freezing or you need to keep them from dying from the heat. And if you're shipping during the hot season, this stuff is awesome. You might want to set your freezer to go a little colder than usual when you're before you have a shipment going out, so that way when you cut it and everything, it's already as cold as it'll get. Because like I said, this stuff will basically get as cold as the environment that they're in, and I really like it. It's done an awesome job for me. Highly recommend it. So that's just a little blurb about the whole thing. And as you can see here, in between each individual cell, you can cut them. So you can have one cell or however many cells and make up the exact shape that you need. So Techni-Ice, really awesome stuff. Love it. Definitely will keep using it. Instantly a favorite tool of mine for many reasons. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, show your friends, check out my other videos. I got plenty of them, and as always, I will see you next time.